Imagine waking up tomorrow and checking your bank account only to discover that someone has deposited $20 million overnight. At first, you think it's a mistake, but the next morning, it happens again. Another 20 million, then another every single day. No taxes, no limits, no questions asked. At first, you buy everything you've ever dreamed of, a luxury mansion, a collection of supercars, a private island, a personal jet. But here's the crazy part. Even after years of saving, your fortune keeps growing faster than you can spend it. Most people would call that unlimited wealth. But what if I told you, even with all that money, there are still things on earth you could never afford? Today, we're going on an incredible journey through the most valuable things humanity has ever known. Not just expensive objects, but discoveries, masterpieces, natural wonders, and creations so extraordinary that their value is almost impossible to imagine. And believe it or not, our journey doesn't begin with gold. It doesn't begin with diamonds. It begins with you. Take a look at your hands. They're made from some of the most common elements found on Earth. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, calcium, iron. Individually, these elements aren't worth much. Yet, somehow, nature arranged them into something capable of thinking, dreaming, creating, and changing the course of history. That's the first lesson about value. The true worth of something isn't determined by the materials it's made from. It's determined by what it becomes. For thousands of years, civilizations searched for value beneath mountains, across oceans, and deep underground. Gold became a symbol of power because it never rusted. Kings built kingdoms around it. Empires fought wars to protect it. Then came diamonds, brilliant crystals hidden beneath the Earth's surface. People believed they represented eternal wealth. But here's something fascinating. A diamond can't feed a family. It can't invent technology. It can't build a civilization. Its value exists because people believe it's rare. That single idea changed history forever. Once humans realized belief could create value, everything changed. Old paintings became priceless. Ancient artifacts became national treasures. Historic discoveries became worth more than mountains of gold. And one ordinary artist working centuries ago unknowingly created something that would one day become one of the most valuable masterpieces in human history. But that's only the beginning, because the next discovery will completely change the way you think about value. Centuries ago, an artist sat quietly inside a small workshop with nothing more than a wooden panel, a few brushes, and a vision no one else could see. The person who hired him simply wanted a beautiful portrait, nothing more. No one expected that painting to survive wars, revolutions, and the rise and fall of entire empires. Yet hundreds of years later, millions of people travel across the world just to stand in front of it for a few seconds. Not because it's made of gold, not because it's covered in diamonds, but because history gave it something money can't create. Meaning, that raises an interesting question. Can a story make an ordinary object priceless? The answer is yes. Throughout history, countless treasures have become valuable, not because of what they are, but because of the journey they've taken. A weathered explorer's compass, a handwritten scientific notebook, the first successful computer. Each one changed the future in a way that no precious metal ever could. But nature wasn't finished creating wonders. Deep beneath the Earth's surface, unimaginable pressure and heat spent millions of years creating crystals unlike anything else. Some were tiny, some were flawed, and a few were so incredibly rare that discovering one became a once-in-a-lifetime event. Collectors offered fortunes, museums competed to display them. Entire industries grew around them, yet even these incredible treasures have something in common. If humanity disappeared tomorrow, their value would disappear too. Because value isn't just found inside an object. It's created by the people who admire it. Now imagine something completely different. Instead of searching underground, look up. Every satellite orbiting Earth, every telescope exploring distant galaxies, every spacecraft carrying human curiosity into the unknown exists because someone believed knowledge itself was worth more than money. Some of humanity's greatest achievements were never built to become rich. They were built to answer impossible questions. How did the universe begin? Are we alone? What's waiting beyond our own planet? Those answers may never fit inside a bank account, but they continue to shape the future of civilization. And that brings us to an even bigger mystery. What if the most valuable thing in existence isn't something you can hold, or own, or even see? What if it's the knowledge that allows humanity to keep moving forward, because the next chapter of our journey leaves Earth behind and proves that the greatest treasures in existence may be waiting far beyond our own world. Now let's leave Earth behind. The moment humanity looked up at the night sky, everything changed. For thousands of years, those tiny lights above us were nothing more than mysteries. Ancient civilizations built stories around them. Sailors used them to cross oceans. Dreamers imagined entire worlds hidden beyond the darkness. Then one day, we stopped imagining, and we started exploring. Building machines capable of escaping Earth's gravity wasn't just difficult, it was one of the greatest engineering challenges in history. Every launch required thousands of engineers, scientists, and technicians working together for years, all to send a single spacecraft beyond our atmosphere. Each successful mission cost billions of dollars, not because rockets are made of gold, but because knowledge has a price. Every satellite orbiting above us helps power modern life. They guide airplanes, connect phones, predict dangerous storms, and allow billions of people to communicate across continents in seconds. Without them, the world would look completely different. Then came an even greater achievement. Instead of simply visiting space, humans built a permanent home there, a laboratory traveling around Earth at nearly 17,000 miles per hour, where astronauts live, work, and perform experiments that could never happen on the ground. It wasn't built by one company or even one country. It became possible because people from different parts of the world decided that discovery was more important than competition. That alone makes it one of humanity's greatest achievements. But here's something even more incredible. Everything we've built, every city, every monument, every skyscraper, every bridge, every spacecraft exists on nothing more than a tiny blue planet floating through an unimaginably vast universe. And out there are objects so enormous and so valuable that they completely redefine the meaning of wealth. Scientists believe certain asteroids contain astonishing amounts of precious metals. Not enough to make one billionaire, not enough to make every billionaire, but enough that if they could ever be mined, they would completely change the global economy. And that's only the beginning. Our sun contains enough energy to power civilization for billions of years. The stars scattered across the universe hold resources beyond human imagination. Compared to the cosmos, everything we've ever owned is almost insignificant. So, after seeing treasures on Earth, masterpieces created by artists, natural wonders hidden underground, and incredible achievements built in space, one question still remains. What is the single most valuable thing humanity has ever imagined? The answer isn't gold, it isn't diamonds, it isn't even an entire planet. It's something so incredibly rare that scientists have spent decades trying to create even the smallest amount. And if they could produce just 1 gram, its price would make everything we've talked about seem ordinary. That's where our journey ends. So, what could possibly be worth more than legendary paintings, rare diamonds, billion-dollar buildings, or even humanity's greatest space missions? The answer is something almost impossible to hold. Antimatter. For every particle that exists in our universe, scientists believe there's an opposite version with the reverse electrical charge. When matter and antimatter meet, they instantly destroy each other, releasing an enormous amount of energy. Sounds simple, creating it isn't. To produce even a tiny amount, scientists must accelerate particles to incredible speeds using massive scientific facilities, then capture the results before they disappear almost instantly. After decades of research, humanity has created only microscopic amounts, not grams, not milligrams, amounts so tiny they're almost impossible to see. That's why scientists estimate that just a single gram of antimatter would be worth tens of trillions of dollars if it could ever be produced and safely stored. But here's the surprising part. Its true value isn't the price, it's the possibilities. Studying antimatter could help answer some of the biggest questions in science. Why does the universe exist? Why is there more matter than antimatter? How did everything begin? Sometimes the most valuable discoveries aren't the ones that make us richer. They're the ones that make us smarter. And maybe that's the biggest lesson of this entire journey. We started with money, Then we explored gold, rare treasures, historic masterpieces, engineering miracles, and the endless possibilities of space. But in the end, none of those things are humanity's greatest achievement. The greatest achievement is curiosity. It's curiosity that pushed explorers across unknown oceans. It's curiosity that inspired inventors to change the world. It's curiosity that carried humans into space. And it's curiosity that continues to drive scientists toward discoveries we can't even imagine today. The universe is filled with wonders beyond measure. Some may one day become valuable. Others may remain mysteries forever. But every incredible discovery begins with one simple question. What if? And perhaps that's the most valuable thing of all. Because the moment humanity stops asking questions, the future stops moving forward. So the next time you look up at the night sky, remember this. The greatest treasure in the universe may not be something waiting to be found. It may be the imagination that inspires us to keep searching. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to subscribe, because the next adventure might completely change the way you see the world.